So we are starting here. We're doing a live event tonight for the Bloobel Progressive Digi Image Challenge. And I'm going to give everybody plenty of time to get in here. It's about 10 to 6 approximately. And I know some of you guys, including Jillian, and I hope that she gets in tonight. Sometimes it's kind of hard to remember or to figure out the time zones and stuff. So I'm going to try to make an effort to start posting some time zone stuff. But typically, if you're seeing a reminder post from me saying, hey, this is going on tonight, it's going to happen like soon, typically within an hour or less. Today I was able to get it out a little bit sooner, but that's not always the case. So if you see me post, this is going to happen in an hour, and you look at your time, just add on an hour. Anyway, so welcome, Alice. I'm going to take time to welcome people as they come in, give everyone plenty of time to get in here until about 6:05, which if you're watching this archived, you can skip all this stuff if you're not interested in it, but this is a community. Our community is building and growing every time I do a live stream. So the first 10 to 15 minutes, I welcome people and I want people to come in. Hey, Cecilia. So if you're watching this archived or you're coming in live for the first time and you're wondering, like, why isn't she starting? What's going on? Why are we just chatting? This is a community, and people like to come in and meet people that they've seen before and things like that. Thanks, Kim. And it's just super fun because you meet the same people over and over again. New people are constantly coming in, and it's just a really cool thing. So what we're going to be doing today is coloring a Bloobel Progressive Challenge image. And what that means is if you got in it when it very first began, you got a free image to start with. You color it and you follow the rules and the expectations she had set up to post it in certain places. And if you do so, you get the next month image for free, which is really awesome. Now, if you missed that beginning part, you can buy what's called buy-in, which just all it means is you need to buy this month's image to get started. And then as long as you follow it, the next month's images are all going to be free for you. So hello, Alice. Jennifer Marker is here. I'm not sure how to say that. Renee Edwards. I'm probably totally not saying that right. I apologize. But I like to give everyone time to get in. I guess I'm going to move a few things around so that I can respond to the chat. Now, if you're going to leave a question, I do have moderators. However, if you put everything in all caps, that makes it a lot easier for me to respond to you. And it makes it a lot more fun for me and you. So, again, let me just say, if you're watching this archived or it's your first time watching the live stream, I'm early. You're early. So welcome. Thanks for coming. We're going to give more people time to come in here. If you want to know, hey, Janet, if you want to know where to go after this, the party just keeps continuing over at Quality Crafts, and that's located on Facebook. And as soon as some of my moderators come in, you're going to see them posting a link to the Facebook page. And we'd love to have you there. Now, that is a non-commitment, drama-free group where definitely let us know you're coming over. Renata. Okay, yay, Renata. Thank you. Definitely let one of us know, like Kathy Dennehy or me or, oh gosh, I'm just totally spacing this out. Esther or Kelly, or you'll start seeing them pop up in here. They've got a different blue color to their name. Friend one of us and let us know you're coming in, because if you're a new profile on Facebook or, hey, Deb, or something like that, we might not let you in right away, because what we're doing is we're checking to make sure that no spammers are getting in, because we respect your privacy and also your safety on the net. Raggedy Girl's here. Yay! Vicky! Geneva Early. Hello, this is my first time live stream. Oh, hearts for you. So I couldn't find anything. Somebody said last time she caught us live and she was hoping that all the little hearts would float across and things like that. And I've got floaties going on here. I don't know what to say about that. I couldn't find any settings that turned on or off the ability for you guys to stream hearts. So if somebody could help me out with that, that would be awesome. I would love to see that. I need 1 minute because I'm almost out of my drink, but I came on early specifically because I'm looking for Jillian. I believe that was her name. Let me just double check. I was having a hard time finding us. And I want to make sure she gets in here. And I was about ready to go get my drink, but I thought, you know what? I need to get in here because I want to make sure that she finds us. So I'm going to be back momentarily. Start up the chat, get going. This is the image that we're coloring today. So if you're joining along with me, you're going to want to get your image printed. You're going to want to grab your colored pencils. Now I'm using colored pencils that came in a big set. It was like, oh, the hearts is just Facebook. It's not on here. Yeah, I've never seen hearts on here, but she was like, I haven't seen that go through. So anyway, yes, I will be back momentarily. Grab your colored pencils and your image, and then about 6:05, we're going to get started. I'm back, I'm back. Cheers, I'm so glad you guys are here. Yay, Linda's here. Esther came in. Okay, so do you see how Esther's Craft Corner with Esther C is blue? She's a moderator, so she can help you get hooked up to Quality Crafts on Facebook, and we'd love to see you there after the show here. Yes, oh my gosh, TGIF. TGIF. Amen. This was a crazy week. I work with middle schoolers, and I don't know if you know much about middle schoolers. Those of you who do are already looking at me going, mm-hmm. You know, if you don't know, it's like walking around in a bar at closing time, where everyone is drunk and has absolutely no inhibition whatsoever, and the F word is rampant, and they just don't care about you. They only care about themselves. And it's crazy like that. I can't even tell you what happened in one of my classes without swearing. So I can't even share with you the stories because it's that wild. Whew, I'm glad to be home. Just gonna say that. So glad to be home. So glad to see you guys. Be crafting today. We're coloring today with colored pencils. It was Julie that couldn't figure out. Okay, did she make it in? Did I miss her? Hi, Jane. Yay, Alice is here. She made little hearts. That's cute. Hello, Linda. All right, what else do I need to tell you guys before we get started here? Because we've got about 5 minutes. If you're here right on time. Actually, you're a little bit early. My live streams always say that they start at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And that means I'm here by 6. Actually, I'm always here a little bit early. But we give everyone time to get in. So if you're watching it archived, if you're watching us live for the first time and you're trying to figure out why in the world is this woman not crafting, it's because I'm giving everyone time to get in here. Hey, Sandy. And I do hope she finds us. I don't know what else to do, but once I'm live, I have a really hard time going back and forth. Oh, Georgia, first time watching. Yay, hearts for you. Thanks for coming. What do I want to say about that? I lose my track of thought once in a while, but we have a group of community members from here that meet over at Quality Crafts. So hence why you always see me say in my videos, hey crafters, it's me, Jen Evers from Quality Crafts. That's where we all go over to party during the week, you know. That's where we do our challenges and our swaps, and we inspire, become inspired, and there's no participation police. So we would love to have you over there. Oh, Julie made it. Julie Killian. That's what it was. Julie and Killian, and I combined it and said Jillian. My apologies, Julie, but I'm so glad you're here. She made it. Whoop, whoop. You found the chat and everything. I'm really excited. Yay! So, 4 more minutes. A few other things that I want to tell you guys about. Grab your image if you're not already there. This is the image we're coloring today. We're going to color him just like I colored him before in my card. And I really thought I was on the ball today. Yeah, I am. It's in my prepared bucket. I have preparedness buckets on the side of my space here. This is the one that I colored. We're going to be coloring him today. Very similar to what he looks like here. A little bit of shading, a little bit of contouring, not anything super fancy, but it should be super, super easy and everyone should be able to do it. So, okay, 3 more minutes. What else can I tell you? You can find me on Instagram, you can find me on Facebook, you can find me on Twitter, and you can find me on Patreon. And I'd love to see you anywhere and everywhere that you're connected on those platforms. That would be super awesome. We're coloring a Bloobel image tonight. I'm using some cheap old sorry, I'm interrupting because I'm answering a question. Cheap old markers, colored pencils from Walmart. I think I finally threw out the box, to be honest. It was like $4.97 for this whole set, okay? So you can't go wrong. Whatever color pencils you have, you use those. I apologize, Julie. I did not mean to give you the wrong name. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I threw that box out. They had some weird name. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to color this guy. So if you don't already have the image, you're going to have to do what's called a buy-in, which is you purchase the image. There's 6 of them this month. 6 you had to pick, right? Oh, thanks, Georgia. Yay for Mamie. There were 6 to choose from. I chose the dog. They're all in an Easter parade with like some kind of a funny little Easter hat that you should decorate. And you have to go over to bloobel.com to find it, or look under Facebook. Maybe some of my moderators can just pop this in. I see that Michelle is here and Esther is here. And so if you guys could pop that in here, bloobel.com is her regular website, but where she's running the progressive challenge from would be her group on Facebook. So you want to look up Bloobel. It's like Bloobel. That's what I was going to tell you guys. She has this really cool package that you can get it on. It's only $5 a month. It's called True Blue. TROOBLOO. True Blue. And you get, if we get enough people signed up, you get 2 images for $5. But if we get enough people signed up for that package, come on, people. I'm part of that package because I love her images. Oh, they're so cool. We'll get 3 every month. So 3 images for $5, which in the Digi realm is totally worth it. It's really, really cheap. And you're going to find that her images are just amazing. You know, this is one of them. Another one that she's doing that's going to become ours if we get enough people signed up this month even, it's going to be this cool jogger guy. I love him. He's so neat. I do have him colored somewhere. Somewhere. Oh, I found it. Here he is. Ta-da! We can color him if we get through with the dog. So I hope that I have an extra one of him printed out somewhere. I have a pile here. Oh yeah, I do. The one I just showed you. I got extras. See, when I print, I go crazy. I print tons. Except for the dog, of course, the one I need today. So if we mess up on this dog, well, we're just going to have to deal with it. Just pull our big girl panties up and deal with it, right? We are at 6:05, and so I'm going to get going. To color this guy, we're going to need just a couple of different browns here. So you see I have a lighter brown and a darker brown, basically 2 different colors, all right? And then I used a black and a gray. And the green I just colored in with a really teeny tiny green marker. But you can use colored pencil as well. I just wanted his eyes to really stand out, so I used marker on him. But let me scoot him over and bring you in a little bit. We're going to begin because it's 6:05 and I want to respect your time. We can chat about other things later. There we go. Now, I think we can probably start off with this hat. I left two little like white marks here that's basically supposed to be showing off the fact that there's like some shiny marks. Okay, so I am not a professional colorist. Um, I'm showing you how to color the way that I've learned to color by self-learning, by watching tons of YouTube videos, some really, really awesome colorists, and just picking up things here and there. So if you're already beyond me in skills, then just, sit back and maybe give us a couple of tips in the chat and stuff. But if you're not, this is going to give you a boost, or maybe hopefully inspire you to just give it another try. I'm going to tell you what, I used to bring these images with me babysitting every night, and I colored hundreds of them. I started out really, really not doing well at all. So I don't want you guys to give up. Just grab a light brown and a dark brown. So here's what I'm going to do. My light brown and my dark brown. And the first thing I'm going to do, oh, I said we were going to start the hat. What didn't I? Okay. The hat is a gray and a black. And that's it. Gray and black. Now, if you look really close, I left almost a little white line all the way around his hat there. I'm going to see if I can get this to just settle down for you so you can get a really good look at it. It's different when I have it close up versus when I have it far away. Okay, there's almost like a little white halo effect around it, and I really like that. If you don't like that, color all the way to the edge. But if you do, I'm going to show you what I do now. I'm not going to color all the way to the edge. I'm just going to color around the edge, getting really close with my silver or my gray. I'm using silver just because I have one, but just use gray, a light gray, that's all it is. And go all the way around the hat. Then decide where you want your light source to come from. Do you want two big light sources here? Or do you just want one on the side? Or do you want two on the side? You decide where it's going to go when you're laying down your first light color, okay? I'm going to do the same thing that I did on that one, so I'm just going to color up here and draw in where that mark's going to be on that side, and then I'm going to draw in where the next one's going to be on the other side. You see that? They're just like two little triangles, basically. All right, it's going to be easier to see once I start with the black. And then I'm just going to lightly shade, color in the rest of that space. Not the white parts, obviously, but the rest of it with my light gray. And then I can go over it again and get a little bit closer to the edges, and we can challenge the edges later with our black one, okay? So go ahead and color that in. When I'm coloring in spaces like that, I don't want my tip to be really, really sharp. I kind of want it to be dull so that I don't leave a lot of, marks in it. Now I'm going to go back over that. Do you see where my two marks are there? My two white. I'm going to go back over this whole thing with black. Do you see how I shaded this all in? This is the look that we're heading for. So it's nothing that you have to try really hard to do. You're just going to follow your gray. So you do the gray, the light gray first, because then if you make a mistake, just erase it, right? And then we're going to go over with the black. Black will be a little bit more difficult to erase, but now we're going to fill in that space. Since we already know where it's going to go, we don't have to worry so much about, oh, I might make a mistake there. And now if you don't like how big your little light, your little shiny light sources are, just go ahead and fix those up with your black. Like I wanted that one on the left to be a little bit smaller, and I want this one on my right to be a little bit bigger, so I'm going to make it look bigger by shading around it like this. You can always make it smaller, but you can't make it bigger once you put your black down. Okay? And then I'm just going to take that black and I'm going to go over the whole thing and color it in. So now I just went over that edge here with that just a little bit, so I'm just going to color a little bit closer to the line to get rid of that little mistake I made. And then I'm going to go back in again. Don't cover up my white. Okay? And then I've got the outline of the hat, how that looked. See that? No, it's not as dark, is it? So I'm going to go back in again. This time you can use a sharper point if you want to get a little bit darker of a color, and you're going to press a little bit harder now, and you're going to make it as dark as you want it to be. Now it's the same premise with any color that you use. Just like watercoloring, when you use colored pencils, it's about the layering. That's what I think. You're going to hear a lot of my opinion as an artist. Everyone has their own way of doing things. And if you go to a professional colorist class, they're going to give you probably even a different way of looking at it. I'm not against coloring classes. It's just that I have so many things that I wanted to do. I just never really wanted to buckle down and actually follow a class. I'm more about learning naturally just by watching others. That's how I learn best. And then now to color up the little doop-de-doo of his hat here. Oh, Krista came! Um, Michelle says, I don't know that Bloobel offers a specific SVG cut file though. I don't think she does. You can ask her about that. I'm just going to color the very center of this part right here with my black all the way across, and I'm still doing what I said before, leaving a little white on the outsides. I don't know why specifically. I just like the look of it. So that's what I get at the end. Okay, so if you chose not to do black, if you chose to do another color, or if you're coloring another space on another image, same idea goes through. I'm just going to make mine a little bit blacker here by going over it. And that is about it for that. Let's move on to the dog. Now the dog is the same idea. I'm going to use my lighter brown to go over most of the space on the dog. Do you see how most of him is that lighter brown? Even in the muzzle part right here, where there's not as much color, I probably could have colored that in a little bit more. I always look at my image later on and go, oh, I could have done that. Stick to the point, Jen. Stick to the point. Okay, so as you can see, there's two colors, but it probably looks to you like, for you, like there's maybe more than two colors. So I'm going to go through the whole dog and color him that light brown first. Very, very light. Then I'm going to go in and take my darker brown, go into the areas where I want it darker brown, and then I'm going to use the same lighter brown to rub the darker brown out, to basically blend it out, okay? And then I'm going to add some shading with the same color. To see how it's lighter here, and it's lighter here, and here? Those parts I'm going to leave. They're still colored. They're light brown, but they almost look white, like the light's shining on him and making him look contoured, because I left some of them so light brown that they almost look white. Okay, so that's what we're going to do first. Take your, hi May and Cindy, yay! Take your light brown and just go ahead and give him, if you're doing the dog or maybe you're doing another image, and do a very, very light back and forth so that you don't get lines. And just color him in. Okay, be careful where you're going. You don't want to color up his nose, because his nose is going to be black. And just go around his whole image in this light brown. Now, if you're just joining us, or if you missed part of this, or whatever, I just want you to know that I'm not a professional colorist. I enjoy coloring. I love learning all kinds of things from watching people and stuff, and I'm just sharing with you tips and techniques that I've picked up along the way that work for me. Now, your artist mind might work in a different way, or maybe you've taken a class and you really enjoyed the way they teach it. Stick with what works for you. The whole point of art is that it's very, very individualized. I'm just hoping that with my videos that I'm going to touch you in a way that's going to make you go, oh, I could do this. Yeah, I could totally do this, right? That's the whole point of it. You're not going to walk away from this coloring tonight and be a professional, you know? But you might walk away with something that you went, oh, that stuck with me. That totally resonated with me. That helped me move to another level in my creative coloring. That's the goal. Then, you know, we come to the chat just to hang out and have fun with our friends. So we're just laying down, kind of like if we were watercoloring or doing some other kind of media, we're just laying down the first color, and it's a light brown. That's all we're doing. We're going to color in this whole dog. She had 6 images to pick from, called the Easter Parade images. I just happened to choose the dog. So if you choose to buy in on this progressive challenge over at Bloobel.com, you go ahead and pick whatever image you like the best. I just really like this dog. So I've got a nice light brown. Oh, shout at me. Shout at me when I'm out of frame. You know what, you guys? I really decided that I need to watch more what I eat. So if anyone's in on that with me and you want to join me on my crusade for eating better, I would love to have you. Just give me a shout out after this. Maybe we'll start a little healthy eating tribe. May, I want to color now. Well, I hope so, May. Are you at work or something where you can't? Okay. I skipped a step when I was doing my explanation, but if you're still following with me, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the same brown. I haven't switched any color yet, right? I'm going to color in darker the spaces that I want darker before I add the darker brown. It's just so if in case I make a mistake, I can erase a little bit of it. So on the ears, I want a little bit darker. Do you see that? The tail, a little bit on his little rump here, down the sides of his legs, just to accentuate maybe his toes, a little bit of his muscles in his legs there. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to go in and be like, okay, I think I'm going to want it a little bit darker here. So I'm going to add a little bit more of that brown. Bring it around. You kind of want this to blend in. You don't want it to be really, really stark, right? And then color on this side a little bit more, wherever you want that shading to be. Now, in my imagination, I think you can have shading wherever you darn well please. If you want your shading to be realistic, then this is probably not the place for you. I'm not deciding like, oh, his light source is coming directly in. I'm just using my creativity and what comes out of me as an artist to put on the shading where it's just pleasing to me, okay? So you do what you need to do. If you like mine, copy it. If you don't, do your own thing. Have fun with it. There's always a little bit of dark underneath something that's sitting on their head. Like especially if you're coloring an image that has hair, there's always like a little bit of a shading coming down from there. There's probably going to be a little bit under his nose. I mean, I don't know. I'm just making this up as I go. Where I think I want my shading. Because I want his little snout here to look a little bit more rounded. I'm going to do a little bit of shading around it like this. And then I'm going to leave the bottom part, you know, a little bit more light. And let's see a little bit here. And then when we're done doing this with the light brown, we're going to bring that dark brown in, okay? And we're going to go over the same spots in that dark brown, and then we're going to blend them out. So I have a little bit here that I want to bring down. So we're kind of putting in where we want this stuff to fall, right? A little bit on his rump, we said, would look really good, a little bit darker, make him look a little bit more rounded there. And a little bit up the tail. And then don't worry about how dark you're doing it because we're going to come back in. We're going to just sum down the side of his leg here. And then a little bit on each toe. I might not be exact as to what I did on the other coloring. But here, no, this leg is underneath the other one, so there's going to be some kind of a shadow there for sure. And then this one, I'm going to kind of curve around because I want that to be kind of pointing out that there's a little bit of a muscle there. Okay. And then a little bit up these toes, the edge of these toes, and then up the side of this one. And this leg for sure. A little on each toe. Just accentuate those, bring them out. Probably getting a little bit harder to see just because these are lighter colors, but now we're going to go in with a darker color. Any kind of dark brown will do. Cheers, guys. Oh my word. Join me in my diet and I'm having an operation so I can only have fluids for 12 weeks? Ooh. That would be insane. How are you doing that? Oh my gosh, give us some idea how that's going. I'm going back over into those spots that we just did with my dark brown. Okay, to make them just a little bit darker, a little bit more pronounced. And then we're going to go back in with our lighter brown when we're done with this. Now, I do want to point something out, and that in some of these cases, remember, I left it a little bit lighter on the sides here. You see that? A little bit lighter under. You could actually maybe color his belly in, but I left it a little bit lighter. I'm not going all the way to the edge. I guess that's just what I wanted to point out. I'm not going all the way to the edge. So here he's almost gonna look like he has a mustache. Mustachio puppy. Okay. A little bit right here. So take this to whatever level you want. Make your highlights where they look pleasing to your taste. You don't have to follow anybody's tutorials unless it falls in line with how you want yours to look. And all I'm doing is using my lighter color to know where I want to put the darker color. And I do this because in case I make a mistake, the lighter colors are going to be a lot easier to just run in with your eraser and get rid of some of it. I'm adding a little bit less to his rump. Not quite as much as I had before. I'm going to make a line up there. So I've pretty much kind of gone over all the other spots, except for this one. This was just a highlight. I didn't want that super dark, so I left that one alone. Chris, is ice cream considered a fluid? Okay, now let's just kind of blend these out. We're going to make everything a lot darker. We're just going to leave the lighter brown exactly where we want the lighter brown to be. So I'm going to go right over the top of that dark brown and blend that out until you get almost to the other side and leave a little bit of it light. Now this is almost like a Copic coloring kind of idea where you go in with layers and you go in back and forth with your different colors until you get the blend that you like. So let's say you go over it with like this, like we're doing now, and you go, wow, like when I blended that out, like that dark brown right here just really disappeared for me and I don't like that. I want it more dark. Then bring in your darker brown again at the end and go over it again so that your dark brown layer is on the top and then it'll look a little bit darker. But it's very forgiving that if you don't like that, you can always just rub it out with your lighter one and blend it back out again, and it'll be less dark. That's one of the things that I really like about using colored pencils is that you have the freedom, even more freedom than you would with like markers and stuff, because markers can't be erased. Colored pencils to an extent, right? Who is warm in here? Oh my gosh, I have to show you this, guys, today. I got this from one of my very best coworkers ever. And this jacket is becoming too much for me. I got this from a coworker today. Isn't this pretty? I don't want to like totally off topic and stop coloring, but I really want to. I don't use a blender pencil because I can't find mine. So basically, I'm using 2 different colors to blend it out by not needing, then you don't need the blender pencil. I'm off 4 blender pencils. I think they're awesome. But if you can get away with not needing one and not having to go out and buy one more thing, this will work for you. I do, Beck, I do super really like the blending pencils. I bought 3 of them when I came across it the first time, and now I can't find them. Okay, so look at this. Isn't this pretty? My friend gave this to me, and look what it says. I love this. I like to put it in my pocket so I can rub my finger on it over it and remind myself that I'm good enough. I just love the colors of it. It's just fantastic. Look at that. Even in the edges. It's just phenomenal. And the fact that she would think of me enough to give me something, I don't know, I just really, really like this. Okay, so I'm just going to go back in with my lighter brown and blend these out. So now I'm going to blend this one out here on his rump, but I'm going to go all the way down to almost the bottom of this leg right here and give him a little bit more color in here. Just start bringing together his whole body here. And I'm going to want a little bit from this leg to come out to cover up, make his little tummy seem kind of rounded. To see how it kind of left a little bit of that non-shading and on here and here. I mean, you take that to whatever extent you need to make this look cool in your eyes. You know, however you want to do it. I think I want to extend this just a little bit up closer to his neck. I'm going to leave a little bit of white there though. I like the way this turned out. I was really, really pleased with it. And so this was the one. I mean, sometimes I color this image 2, 3, 4 times before I even do this coloring video for you guys, because I want whatever I do to be usable. Like, I want you to be able to take what I show you and use some of it in your own coloring. But I also want it to look nice too. Like, I don't want to just go ahead and color something for the sake of coloring it and have it not turn out well. And I really do think this looks cool. I did his little snout here a little bit differently this time, and I'm going to add on a little bit more color down here, more than I did last time. Maybe a little bit under his eye there. Notice how I didn't go up into his nostrils? Because I'm going to do it the inside of his nostrils, kind of a gray. So now there, I think I got too much color up his nose. I'm just going to go in with an eraser. It's not going to erase the color totally, but it's going to lighten it up some. And that's all I wanted, was just to lighten it up. So I'm going to go back in with my gray now. Now we've got a lot of the contour and stuff done. I didn't see anyone tell me that I was out of frame. I've heard good things and bad things about baby oil. You can also use Gamsol to go in and do that. But I just wanted this to be something that anybody and everybody could take something away from, where you didn't have to have any specialty items to use. But yes, there's so much stuff out there. So much stuff. So I'm just going to color a little bit in his nostrils, but I'm going to leave a little white around them. So when you look, they're not fully covered in. Excuse me. And now I'm going to use the same technique on his nose that I did on the hat. I'm going to color it in with the gray very lightly through the whole thing. I should say more, not from his hat, but more for his body. Color it in because you want the edges to look like they weren't almost not colored. And then go back in with the black and color around it. Fill it in with the black, but leave a little bit of a white halo outline. You don't have to do that. If you think yours looks better colored fully in, you go for it. I really like the look of that white halo. I don't know why. It just looks really cool to me. So that's what I'm going for. And I'm just going over this a couple of different times because I want his nose to be really, really black. if you're not getting as dark of a color as you wanted and you're feeling pretty confident in your coloring, go ahead and just start with the dark color first and skip the light color. Because sometimes putting down the light color first will, because it's waxy, you know, the wax builds up and then you can't get as much color on there as you'd like. But then there's the nose. And then all you're going to do now is jockey back and forth between the light brown and the dark brown. And it's this leg, I think. And just blend everything out until you're totally satisfied with it. So if you don't like, if you have too much light and you want a little bit more dark, bring your dark brown back in and just add it wherever you want it. I kind of like the way that turned out. I think he looks pretty cool. My camera does too. It's winking at me. Did you see that? Okay. Now for the eyes, I typically use either, see if I can, yeah, my Sharpie's here. Either a Sharpie fine point, like this one. It's got that really little point. Or even finer, it's the microns. I think this is a micron. This is a Zig memory, but it's let's see, 0.3. But look how tiny it is. Tiny, teeny, tiny. Okay? And that's so that you don't end up going out of those lines because they're so little. I've even taken the liberty of making the pupils bigger than they actually are in the digi itself. I'm pretty sure that I made this little teeny tiny pupil right here quite a bit bigger in the other image. Let's take a look at it together. I did make it bigger. You can totally see that. And then there's no place in the drawing that she did for the iris of the eye, which are the green parts, and I added that. So you're going to want to go ahead and just decide, do you like the look of that? Do you want to add the iris? Do you want color in your eye, or don't you want color in your eye? Because that's a personal preference. Since I already did green, and I want his eyes to really stand out, I'm going to use a blue, but I'm going to use a blue marker. I got one in here. I don't know how well this blue is going to stand out. I hope it does, though. This is another one of those Zig markers that's got that really teeny tiny barrel. So I can super control where I'm putting this color. And I'm just going to make a little circle around his eye where I think that iris should fall. Okay, and then I'm going to go around this one and make a circle where I think that should go, and then color it in with the blue. I'm not real happy with the little eye because you can't really tell it's blue. It almost looks like it's completely black. But once you get the color on both, it kind of evens out. Now to make those really stand out, and I didn't do it on the other one, but you could also take your white gel pen, okay, and put a little shiny dot in that eye, and a little dot on that one to make them look like they're standing out. I'm going to put one more dot on that. So there's the difference in the two eyes that we did. Now if you want your eyes to look a little bit more, I don't want to say realistic, but you can add a little bit of gray shading or a little bit of blue shading to the eyes as well. I'll show you what I mean. If you add a little bit of gray or a little bit of blue just to the outsides of the eyes, it'll give the illusion that it's a little bit whiter. Especially if you're coloring like pictures of digis, I should say, that are like little girls. If you add just a little bit, a hint of gray or blue around the edge, it just makes it look all the more white on the inside. And a little more rounded, a little more real feel to it. Let me show you the difference between the two. These are normal color pencils that you get at Walmart, $4.97 for the set. Nothing special. See the difference between his eyes now? So you choose what you think that you like, which style you like best, and how you want your guy to look. Okay, so you can use these for any kind of images. It doesn't have to be a dog, obviously. And now we're going to do his tongue. And I'm just going to put down like a light pink. This one's called Coral, but it's a light pink. And then I'm going to add like a darker red over the top. And again, I'm going to keep my darker color more to the inside of the tongue and leave almost like a pink halo effect around it. You can color the whole darn thing in if that's the look you want. I just really like the look of that. And you can also add white gel pen to the tongue too to make it look wet. But I like the look. I like the look of it. The other one I colored a little bit more red and a little bit more to the end. If you want to see the difference between my tongues. But I like the look of that. Again, if you want a darker red, don't put the base color of the pink down first, and then you'll have a darker red. Okay. What else are we missing here? I did go around all of these little guys. Do you see how they've got even a darker line around these even? I don't know what you call those little things on his nose. I'm going to take a darker brown and I'm going to go around each one just on one side, not all the way around it, just on one side where I see that they've already made the line darker. And I'm just going to go around each one so you can see the difference in how that looks even. Look at the difference in how that stands out. I already did it on this one. Well, let me pull out one that we haven't colored yet. I know I have a bunch of these guys laying around. Oh, no, I don't. Here's one. So here's what it looks like from when we started to when we finished. We've really brought him to life, haven't we? He looks really cool. I kind of feel like I should add a little bit more dark. Let's do that. So I'm pushing really hard in the spaces where I want it dark, and then just lifting it up and still continuing to shade to blend it out. So here I'm going to push really hard, and then I'm going to lift up, and I'm just going to keep going back and forth to bring that shading out. Okay, here I'm going to push really, really hard on the edge here, and then as I go out, I'm just going to lift it up and keep going back and forth to blend it out. Okay, same on this side. I'm going to push really hard here to get that color down, and then I'm just going to kind of do circular motions and lift my pencil up and just keep moving to blend that out so that the ears are a little bit darker. Yeah, I want a little bit more pronunciation at this part as well, his little mustache. I'm going to push really hard here and make sure that that wax and that dark color sticks out there. And then I'm going to continue to go to shade back and forth. Do you hear that? I'm not pushing really hard, but I'm going back and forth so that it's taking all that wax that's on the top of that paper and just making it all kind of mingle together, which gives you a really nice blended look, even though you're only using one color. All right, and then I'm going to do some more on his behind, and I'm going to just push really, really hard in here and lay that color down, mixing up those waxes, and then I'm going to do kind of a round circular motion back and forth right down into his leg here. Super, super light when I get to the brown so that that all blends out. And if you don't like the look of it, go back in and blend it some more. I mean, it's up to you. But that looks really cool. And let's do a little bit more here, pushing really hard and then light circle motions, pushing that all around to blend it out. Same with here, pushing really hard and then circular motions and blending that wax out, pushing very, very lightly just to make sure that that all mixes together and I have a darker color there. Now he's really starting to pop a little bit more, isn't he? Let's do a little bit more of that kind of down at the bottom. Bring his little toes up. Oh, I'm almost out of frame there. Okay, we're bringing his little toes up a little higher. Making them just a little darker. And you are going to get a little bit more wax, so try not to rub really, really hard. As you're, a lot of times you just want to go and blow that little bits of wax off, just so you don't end up rubbing it on the side of your cardstock, and then you feel kind of bad because you rubbed it all on there. Okay, and we'll add a little bit more darkness to this little guy's paw. So all I'm doing is I'm following up the lines that are already drawn here for me. Take advantage of the artist's ability to put those lines in for you. Do you see how I brought the paws up following that line? I didn't create those lines, she created those lines, and I'm just following them. Looks cool that way. He turned out super cute. Just slightly different than this one. I think I used more of a yellowish brown on this guy. Do you see the difference in the colors? Let me back you out a bit. Yep. Just a slightly different color of brown. Different color, different, but look, I don't know, I even like this one. I like them both the same, really. They turned out super cool. So now I'm going to show you how I did this bottom. But you can go ahead and make any kind of a bottom that you want for him if you're coloring this one. But adding backgrounds and stuff is really fun too. So I just take a pencil in case I don't like my line. You can use a ruler if you want to. I made mine coming up. Now, this foot and this foot are raising off the ground. So literally only the line that grounds these two paws. So it has to go behind at least these two to show that they're on the ground. So I'm just going to put in a line there and try to go semi-straight across. I mean, like I said, use a ruler if you want. I don't think a ruler is really necessary, but there I've got that. And all I did was use, I think I used an orange, or maybe I used the red. It doesn't really matter. Let's pick one that I didn't use. See if I can find another like brown in here. Actually, let's do this green. I think this would look really cool. You can do any kind of background you want with that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just follow that pencil line with my green. I'm going to make him standing in grass this time. Okay, now if I didn't like where that line was, I would have erased the pencil. And I could have went underneath it with my green and then erased the pencil, but I'm just going to use it. I'm going to use that pencil line to make it just have that darker look on top, because I like that look. If you don't like that look, then you erase your pencil. Erase your pencil line. And now I'm using just the flat side of this to lay down a little bit of green color here. Very softly, because I don't want a lot of lines. So whenever you're just wanting to put down soft color, use the flat side or the rounded side, you know, the really used and abused side of your colored pencil, because you'll get less lines that way. If you go in with a really sharp tipped pencil, you're going to get a line, and they're going to be disappointed because you won't be able to blend that line out. Okay? And I'm just doing a base like this. And you can keep going. You can take your Gamsol or your baby oil or whatever it is that you're going to, and you can blend this straight out all the way down the page if you want. But I have a feeling I'm going to cut this down later. I'll probably cut this bottom part off. So I'm not going to go all the way through, all the way down to the bottom. I'm just going to go about that far. And I want to have grass, so I'm going to take now the pointier part of my pencil, and I'm just going to take a spot here like this, and then I'm just going to flick it up in different lengths. Some are going to go higher and some are going to go lower. Now this one I went behind this paw. Okay, I went behind and around and above, because that one's up in the air and this one's on the ground. So this one, when I make my grass, I'm going to actually go right over that paw, because that one's more like in the grass, right? and then just work down the page, make some short and some long, and in flicking motions you can get some really cool looking grass. You know, it's not all going to go in the same direction either. The more you vary it up, the more realistic it'll look. And it's even better if you can mix in 2 different colors of greens, because not all grass is the same color. Although that's another thing. Now I'm going behind this paw because he's up in the air. That's another thing that's going to be a personal preference to you. If you like it all one color, like, stick with it, you know. Go with whatever you really, really like. Don't let anyone tell you how you have to make your art. I just really like the way this looks. So now if I look at that and go, I don't really like the way that line sticks out quite so much. I think I'm going to go in just a little bit more. I'm going to blend that with this green out a little bit on the bottom. And then another thing you could do is if you have an image that is touching ground somewhere, you can always add in a green, because I'm doing green, whatever color you're doing, underneath that foot where it stepped on the grass, and then blend it out. Same thing we did with the brown, because that's going to give it kind of like a shadowy look, like he's actually standing in the grass. Can you see that? I feel like I have to draw like super, super dark to get that to show up for you guys. Wow. Maybe my white lights are too white. I'll just make it darker for you guys so you can see it better. So I'm blending that out into the grass, but it looks like he's really standing there. It's more of a shadow, right? So underneath this next one too, underneath where his foot literally touches the ground, you want to put down a really deep base of that color, and then in your, you know, back and forth, your motions, or your round circular ones, you just want to blend that out into the grass. If you want to get really, really fancy, you can say, okay, if that paw's up there, he's probably going to have kind of a shadow right here where that one's coming down. I'm not real good at that, but if you get really fancy and get into that, you can, you know, this one's going to be kind of making a shadow this way. You can fake it. So there's a little bit of a shadow there and there where those paws would have fell on the ground. You can even do it for his whole body, but this, just if you're beginner like me, I just really recommend doing, you know, the stuff that actually touches, things that come together. Put that in. Awesome. So that's fun. So now you can see that this one I just did little mini circles all the way across there. That's all I did, was just little circles. And then that one I just did grass, where we just did a flicking motion, was so easy. And then this guy, I did circles behind him, and then I added that little mark behind his hat. Now I'm not going to add that one in this one because I want to do something else with his hat. But how I did that was I just brought in, back you guys out of here, I just brought this template in and picked the size of the circle that I wanted. It was probably this tiny one, yeah. And then just drew a line, because I really wanted it to be a specific line. There was an image in my brain of how I wanted to look, and that's exactly how I wanted it to look. So I did that, and then all I did was stamp this guy down and I embossed him. So that's why that one's shiny green. And it looks like that wire or whatever's holding it on to the hat goes right into the center of that little clover. And then these little circles, of course, was the same. I just used this template. I did that circle. And as I had this circle down, I made a light outline, and then I just colored it in. So we could do one of those on this guy. Maybe we want to do I don't know, maybe we want to make like bubbles or something. Let's try that. Let's do like a light blue. We'll just kind of try to make it look like a bubble. Whoops. This will be kind of an experiment. But this bubble will be going slightly behind him. And maybe he's excited because bubbles are around. I don't know. That's just my vision. You make whatever you want. I'm making sure that the lines I'm making aren't going over his image. They're going behind his image. Okay. So there's like my first bubble. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over real lightly. I'm going to draw in where that little light source on the bubble is. Do you see that? I just want these to be really, really light. So I'm going to go ahead and color this bubble in with the flat side of this pencil, not including that little white shiny mark we just made. And just color this in super soft, super light blue to make it look like a bubble. And then you can put a little bit darker of a hue underneath and around that, like that, so it looks like it's floating in the air. That looks really cute. I really like that. Let's add at least one more bubble. I kind of wish I had one a little bit smaller than that. I wonder if I could always just hand draw one too. It's not a big deal. Let's put one down here by his other paw. I kind of used this light. I made this one a lot darker, didn't I? Whoops. I kind of used that in another. So here's another image that I colored, that I used colored pencils with, and I made that sandy background using little circles and stuff, and I hand drew all these little tiny circles. But then I colored her tail super light, and if you look real close, I don't know how well it's going to pick it up, but you can see the pebbles through her fin there, her tail fin, to give the illusion that her tail fin is see-through. So you could do that with these as well. You could color the blue over the top of his paw and make it look like that bubble's on top and make his paw a little bit lighter behind it. You know, whatever you want to do. Just giving you some ideas. So here is my next light source. I'm just going to go ahead and color this super light blue all the way through there. The lighter you do it, the more it's going to look like there's not lines, like it's more just blended in. Now we've got a bubble there. That's cool. Tiny bubbles. He's cute. He's totally cute. Now, I usually work in odd numbers, so like I've got 2 bubbles there, and I think that's relatively balanced, but I usually go for 3. If you'll notice in this one, I'm pretty sure I did 3. Oh no, I didn't. I did 4. But what I did was I made the blue one as kind of a central, and then I did 3 as an odd number to set that off and to balance him out. So I think I'm going to do one more, but I'm going to have to freehand this baby because I don't have another little circle that I can think of right near me. Actually, this might work. Oh yes, this will work. So this one's going to be a little bit smaller, and I'm just going to use my what do you call this? Sticky tape. Well, that's kind of a lopsided bubble, but you know what? In nature, there are lopsided bubbles. So wait, what are we going to do? Make my little mark there. Notice how my light source is not coming from the same place on all the bubbles. That is my imagination, folks. Not just one light source, but you know, a whole bunch of them, because that's the way I like it. Oh, that's, you're gonna hear my bracelet knock, 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 and sorry about that. And I'm just gonna lightly color in this little guy. A nice light blue. I'm going to extend this out just a little bit. There. So he's dancing with Bubbles. That is so cute. Beck said that she would add some little smaller ones. I may do that later. But we are about 4 minutes before the end of this live stream. And this is when I usually wrap it up. So I'm going to put my pencils back in their little case here, which is basically just a, I don't know, soup can. I know, super expensive, right? Soup can. Anyone can do that. It is warm in here. Whew. Cheers, guys. Thank you, everyone who joined me today. And I'm hoping that as this progressive challenge goes on, and those of you who really like watching coloring videos, that we'll get more and more people involved in this one. You don't need to join the Bloobel. You don't need to join the Bloobel Progressive Challenge to come and watch the coloring and to pick up some tips. And let me know for the next one if you'd like to see more colored pencils, or if you'd like to see more of the Spectrum Noir, because that's what I typically use, is Spectrum Noir markers. Another thing that we can do is watercolor, which I totally love doing watercolor. I probably will want to do that next, unless you guys have a strong preference against that, or a strong preference for another kind. So this is the image we used today from the Bloobel Digi Images, so bloobel.com. Thanks, Michelle. All right, and then we colored him so cute in the grass playing with Bubbles. And this was the one that I originally did for the live stream for the reminder post. And it kind of looks like Bubbles, but it's more like he's dancing on like maybe a sidewalk. And he's got a little St. Patrick's Day head kind of thing. It's supposed to be Easter parade, but I don't normally send out Easter cards, and I thought this was just really a cute idea to go with. So these are the ones that we've done today. Let me back out just a little bit. That's the wrong way, Jen. So the party doesn't stop here. It continues on over at Quality Crafts on Facebook, and my moderators will probably go ahead and put that in there for you guys. Somebody said this one looks more male and this one looks more female. Interesting. Good eye, good eye. If you do join in the Bloobel Challenge, make sure that you not only post on her site, but you post on Quality Crafts as well, because I'm doing a giveaway. So thank you to Lisa Bloobel for giving me digi images to give to you guys. So basically, the person that wins for the month, and we do this once a month, and it's going to go all year, so you got time to join in. The person that wins over at KTC, Quality Crafts, will win 2 digis of their choice from her store. So that's really cool. So if you've got your eye on some of the ones that are in her store, you're going to want to do this and get in on this. Now, if you join, and if you purchase her package, which is 2 digis every month for just $5, which is 50 cents off, and we get enough people to join, she's going to throw in a 3rd image. So you get 3 images for $5, and that's super cheap. And that's like for the whole month. So like less than what you can get, like a Happy Meal for? Anyway, this will be the 3rd image. I think he is so cool. This will be the 3rd image that we get for the month of March if you join now. Totally like him. Her other image is this little gal who's like sitting in like a cup of tea or a cup of hot chocolate, cup of coffee, I don't know. Really cute. I think you would totally love her as well. And so here are some other images while we're here. Meet us over at Quality Crafts. I hope somebody gets that up there. Yep, Esther did. We have 894 members now. Woo, we're growing. We'd love to have you. Here's some more images that I've colored recently. These are, let me reach over here. These are they're called My Besties by Sherry Baldy. This one was done with colored pencil like we did today. And I just went ahead and added in, do I have one of her that's not colored? No, probably not. Darn, okay. Well, I added in the fins on the little scales on her little tail here. And did a little bit of other kind of coloring and white space and whatnot on her. I really like the way she turned out. This is another one that I did. I added some glossy accents to her eyes and a little bit of stickles to her little tutu there. But this was watercolor. So this is the one, this is the watercoloring that I really want to do for next week. It's a really inexpensive way to color, but her skin is Spectrum Noir markers because the watercolor didn't have a good skin tone. But if you want to join me in for the watercoloring for next time, this is the set I use, and you can get it at the dollar store. So look for the Dollar Tree or the Dollarama or the Dollar, whatever you have it in your area, and just get this cheap set. This is one of the best watercoloring sets I've used. It's the cheapest one. So you can be an artist too, and you do not need to buy super expensive supplies. I get a lot of use out of my really inexpensive ones. I really hope to see you in the next coloring one. I do one every month, so watch on Quality Crafts or on my Patreon page. That's where I post a lot of updates, especially on Quality Crafts. And if you want to get what I'm doing next before everyone else, or you want exclusive videos that no one else can see, you're going to want to go on over to Patreon for that. And what else do I need to mention to you? So Quality Crafts, and that we'll be doing this one. So today is Thursday. My next live stream will be Sunday when we start the new Sunday to Sunday challenge. I always do a live stream 2 to 3 p.m. Central Standard Time in the afternoon on Sunday to show you a skill or a technique or something cool that you can use in the weekly challenge that runs from Sunday to Sunday. And, oh, it's Friday. Friday freebie. Freebie. So go over to Quality Crafts. Monica Vasquez posts tons of fun freebies on the site every Friday. And then Michelle Calvert runs the Friday Freebies Challenge. Now, the freebies are awesome. We encourage you to use them, but you don't have to. Find the theme that she put out for the Friday to Friday Challenge. Follow the theme and use anything you have in the freebies if you can, because it's fun. And enter that challenge. And the person who wins that challenge, take a picture of it and send it straight to Michelle. Don't put it in an album. Okay, this one's different. And then on Saturday, so tomorrow we'll be voting for last week's. You get to vote for the one that you like the best by just clicking on the like button. And then whoever wins gets featured on the KTC blog. So if you want to be in, if you want to have your 5 minutes of fame, if you want to have your name up in lights, this is the way for you to do it. Join us over at Quality Crafts where all the action is happening. And I cannot wait to see all of you guys next video.